since you were head of talent relations, this feels like it would be right up your alley. Damien Priest recently sat down with friend of the show, Chris Van Vliet, and revealed that he was supposed to have a role in the Black Panther, but he lost that opportunity. Specifically, he said that opportunity was taken from him, but not by Marvel. The implication there is that The Office, the WWE, did not want him at the time to appear in Black Panther. Now, if you're curious about timelines, that was still technically during the Vince McMahon era. And we have heard of, because that movie, I believe, came out in 2018. So we've at least heard of folks being offered opportunities and the company turning them down before. You've even told the story where WWE turned down an offer for Steve Austin without even talking to Steve about it. There were some hurt feelings about that. It sounds like maybe that happened here with Damien Priest. Again, we're trying to play our best internet sleuth here, our own internet Sherlock Holmes, and piece that together. But when he says that opportunity was taken from me, but not by Marvel, that's certainly the implication. Do you remember Vince taking a hard stance on, hey, they can't do outside projects unless it goes through us? Or what was the Vince McMahon line of thinking, as you recall, about this sort of thing?
As long as he was in total control, things generally worked out okay. But it had to be his idea. And this apparently was not his idea, the Black Panther thing. So, but that's Vince. That's how he operated. I'm not telling you it's the best way of operating. I don't think it is. But anything you can do to make these guys bigger stars, you're better off. And this would have made him a bigger star, no doubt about that. It was a hot movie, did real well. But it's Vince's way or the highway. And if he didn't originate the idea, sometimes they never get off his desk.
I know you're not there, so you'd be just shooting from the hip guessing. But what do you think Triple H's attitude and approach would be towards this? Because it feels like it's a direct 180.
Well, it would be different than Vince's. There's no doubt about it. Triple H is doing a marvelous job of running that company in a really hard, sometimes thankless role. But I'm sure that because he's been there, I would think that he would look at it as a missed opportunity. But again, it's got to fit in all the places. It's got, they say, well, we want this guy in our movie, and he's going to be away for 6 months. That may not work. The 6-month absence may not work. So it depends on the situation. But if I were in that position, I would do what I could to make it work, because I believe that the benefits of a successful appearance on a major film is significant. So Triple H is a smart guy, but again, it's got to fit everybody, not just the one person that's there. You're looking at casting.
It's going to be interesting to see what we learn as we learn more about that story with Damien Priest, because that's pre-Judgment Day. That's pre him being a WWE World Champion. But he missed that opportunity. But there will be more.
Oh, absolutely. And the thing about it is that, he's a big, talented guy, got a great look, seems to be smart. He's articulate. I think that's important. He can put sentences together, and he's turned into a hell of a hand. But and getting him the right role in a movie that fits his character somewhat on television is a good thing. But it's got to be the timing's got to fit all opportunities. Again, like I said, the simplest one I could give you is that he's going to be unavailable for full-time work for the next blank months. And sometimes that's it just doesn't flush.
We'll do a couple more topics here. One of the things I wanted to ask you about is the news that maybe is flying under the radar from a lot of wrestling fans, because it's not a name we're familiar with, but it's probably more important than wrestling fans may realize. I want to ask you about the departure of the lead production designer, Jason Robinson, and the director of production travel, Michelle Carlucci. They're both finished up with WWE. And Carlucci has been synonymous with WWE for a long, long time. Of course, you had Mr. Carlucci and Mrs. Carlucci and both the son and the daughter. It was a whole family once upon a time working at WWE. But now director of production travel Michelle is gone, and lead production designer Jason Robinson is gone. And I'm wondering, when you take a look and see what's changing in WWE right now, what do you make of that, if anything?
Well, I think there's a possibility that it was thought that the roles that these individuals occupied, uh, the roles just didn't fit anymore. You know, sometimes people get in the habit of doing, you know, watched a TV the other day about somebody had something to say regarding history repeating itself, and how that sometimes that could be very self-destructive. It could only, to me, this would say that WWE wants to upgrade those roles, and those roles have become more and more involved because now the live broadcast, I'm trying to say, will take precedent over anything. So I don't know. I think it's a sad thing. The Carlucci's were part of that company forever.
36 years. Miss Carlucci was there 36 years. She was the longest tenured WWE employee. Like, of everyone who's at the company right now, she had been there the longest, and she was shown the door this past Friday.
Yeah, well, it happens to all of us at some
Yeah.
point in time. I can relate, but it's just inevitable. But sometimes they being the decision makers in any company, can be wrong. But maybe it's just the fact that she's been there so long that they wanted a fresh look at what she was doing. They wanted to freshen up those roles. Jason Robinson has been there forever. Kind of had a free reign of a lot of the things, it seemed to me like.
Over 23 years, Robinson was there.
Yeah, nice guy. Nice guy. I think he's one of our SEC fans, Conrad. You know, he's a Southern guy. But and then his girlfriend, well, I don't know if she got let go or not, but he had a girlfriend that was there a long time. Nice lady. Jason was a nice guy. It's just the fact that sometimes you're in a role so long, and it's time for a change, whether it be for better or for worse. Sometimes change for change's sake helps, not usually, but it helps sometimes. So I'm sad to hear that she's gone, but she had, look, in wrestling, to have a 36-year run. Are you kidding? That's awesome. That's awesome. And she was good at her job, but it was time for a change, it seems to me like.